Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to share an interesting technique using which you can predict the results of a dasha very easily. In fact, you don't need an astrologer's help too. If you are a beginner, this will be a big help to you. You need to know what is a dasha, what is an antardasha. If you know these two concepts, you should be able to predict the results of a dasha very easily. Okay, this can be a do it yourself technique too. I know many of you are interested in applying these techniques to your own charts, right? So you can definitely apply this to your own chart, to your own life, and see how it plays out, right? So let's take an example and I will explain this to you. The example I have taken is the case of someone born in 2nd July 1991. The time of birth is 5:45 a.m. and the place of birth is Bangalore. Uh, you are actually going to see that I'm going to predict, or rather, you are going to predict without even looking at someone's chart, right? We always say that, always look at the chart, look at, whether the dasha is a favorable one or an unfavorable one, so on and so forth, right? Those rules are applied, those rules are very much there, okay? Using the technique that I'm going to share, you can see the results of the dasha yourself. That's the focus of this video. So all you need is you need to know the birth details, okay, and you need a good software, okay, an astrological software, right? Those are the two things that you need. And you enter the details of the date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth, in the astro chart, in the astro software. You can use any software, right? I'm not recommending anything. What I'm showing here is an output from the software that I'm using. Okay, so you see Mahadasha. This is the Vimshotri Dasha. The major time periods in one's life, right? And the Dasha that we are interested in is Saturn Dasha, right? Because this going to run from 2020 to 2039. A 19-year time period, a long time period, right? And Saturn Dasha, people are normally they are scared. There is apprehension. We don't know what's going to happen, right? There is always this seven and a half Saturn called as Sade Sati, right? That also, people confuse with Saturn Dasha, right? So let's go through the motion in terms of how to uncover what is going to happen in the Saturn Dasha. As I said, this is a do-it-yourself technique. So you have entered your date of birth, time of birth, place of birth. You are going to look at the place where the Dasha is mentioned. Okay, choose Vimshotri Dasha if it is not automatic, right? And you will see the start times and end times. Okay, this is the start time of a Dasha and this is the end time of a Dasha. Jupiter Dasha has run from 2004 February to 2020 February, right? So now let's go to the next level. This is known as Dasha. The next one is known as Antar Dasha or Bhukti. Okay, this is known as the Bhukti time period or Antar Dasha. What I'm doing is I am breaking down the Saturn Dasha, the 19-year period, into uh, nine sub periods corresponding to nine different planets. The first one is known as the Swaya Bhukti, right? That is the Bhukti or the Antardasha of the planet that is driving the Dasha, right? In this case, it is Saturn itself. The first Bhukti or Antardasha starts with Saturn. If it is a Mercury Dasha, it will start with Mercury. If it is a Ketu Dasha, Mahadasha, it will start with Ketu, right? That's how the Antardasha will start. So I have split this 19-year period into nine sub periods. What I am going to do is I am going to break this first Bhukti, right, are called as Swaya Bhukti, okay, the first Antardasha into nine sub periods, right, that I am going one level below. 2020 February to 2023 February, I am breaking it down further into 9 subperiods corresponding to 9 different planets, right? So see this, Saturn runs from 2020 February to 2020 August, so on and so forth. All you have to do is create a simple table, right? Or you can mention it next to this itself, right? Mention it next to this. During this period, right? Let's take the example of Mercury, 2020 August to 2021 January, about a 4-5 month time frame. During this period, what are the positive things that happen in your life? What are the negative things happen in your life? And what is the predominant emotion? Okay, what is this predominant emotion? Were you happy? Were you sad? Were you angry? Right, most of the time, right? We experience a multitude of emotions, but what was the predominant emotion during this time period, right? Write it down, right? It can be a feeling of dejection, not knowing what to do, right? A depression, rage, you could have gotten into a fight with something, and write down the major things that happen in that time period, right? This is not far off from today. I'm recording this video in the month of March 2022, right? So you can go back in time, a 2 year time period. So go back and find out, this is 1.5 years, not even 2 years, right? So go back and find out what really happened, right? What are the major things? Let's say if you're working, how was your work life? Did you get any promotion, or were you demoted? Did you get into any struggle with your manager, ego clash, with subordinates, right? How was your married life? Since it is Mercury, did you take up any training, advanced learning, those kind of things, right? Or if you're running a business, how was your business, right? Did you make profit, or did you make loss? Did you take loan? Those are all, did someone, come and pester you to return the loans? Those are all major activities, right? So note down the major activities that happen during the 5 month period and the predominant emotion. So I want you to do that exercise for each of the subperiods, right? Why am I asking? What you see in the first Antardasha is normally a trailer for the complete Dasha, right? So this 19-year time period, this period, right? This 2.5 months, 2.5 year period is really a trailer. Okay, so the trailer, we are breaking this, the trailer period into 9 subperiods because our Antardasha is broken into 9 subperiods. Okay, so what the predominant emotion you experienced, in this particular period, right? You are likely to experience that during the Antardasha of Mercury too, right? So this is an important concept, right? Let's take another one. Let's take during the dasha, during the pratyantara dasha of moon, let's say, right? This is a short period. During this time frame, your married life was very good. Your relationship with your spouse, let's say, improved dramatically, right? And at the same time, you experience a lot of issues in your workplace, right? So you are very happy with the married life, extremely unhappy with professional life, right? During this moon pratyantara dasha, okay, in this 3 month time period. So during the moon antardasha, right, that runs for nearly 1.5 years, you are likely to experience similar emotions and similar events, right? Please note that events need not be the same, but the emotion, right? The predominant emotion that you experience during the Pratyantara Dasha is very highly likely to play out during the Antardasha period also, during the corresponding Antardasha period. Please note that. If I am talking of, let's say, anger during Mars, you are likely to experience anger during the Mars Antardasha too, right? The event the events driving the predominant emotion is likely to repeat, but it need not happen, right? Events need not be the same. Events can be similar or can be different, but the chances for the predominant emotion to play out is very, very high. At the end of it, emotions determine the quality of our life, right? We all want happiness, right? We don't want sadness, we don't want anger, we don't want, fights and all that, right? In many cases, even the events, would be similar, right? But the intensity may differ. And new events may also happen, right? That is highly likely, but the predominant emotion is very highly likely to play out, right? So, this is a very cool technique using which you can predict the dasha. Let's say someone is just starting a major dasha period, right? So, find out the antardashas and find out the pratyantara dasha. Okay, note down the positive and the negative experiences, right? Positive events, negative events, and what is the predominant emotion. You can even choose two emotions, right? Or three emotions. Don't choose a large number of emotions. That's not going to help. Okay, stick to a maximum of two or three. It helps. Okay, or just stick to one. One is always better. So the predominant emotion, as I said, is likely to play out in the antardasha, corresponding antardasha period too. Okay, so this is a very important concept, right? In fact, this is a technique that we astrologers, use it very often. Okay, so this is a very simple technique, right? You don't need to know astrology. You see, I'm not even looking at the chart. Okay, I'm not saying which lagna. I'm not even judging whether Saturn is a yoga karaka, or a difficult planet, for that particular native, right? So without looking at anything, just by looking at the pratyantara dasha, I am predicting, right? So the key concept is pratyantara dasha. Okay, sorry, the Swaya Bhukti, right? The first Bhukti is actually a trailer for the entire dasha. So keep this in mind. Use it. There's a do-it-yourself technique, right? So using this, you can very well find out how your dasha is going to play out. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share in this video. I will see you in another video. Until then, thank you. Bye bye.